I'm usually.
Well, in university, I call us kind of the French.
It's like real close up.
What are you saying?
I'm usually like actually practicing words in my head. Like I'm practicing the songs when I stay up by myself and I'm just like I look like I'm doing nothing. I might be like drinking or smoking a cigarette on a balcony and I'm just like really I'm singing songs in my head and I'm getting to the root of the song and that's just what it is. And then I know the words. I'll know the song by heart. You know, if I know it drunk, then I'll know it sober. You know what I mean?
You say that you need to drink more in order to get more songs done.
We should go walk up this hill and find
what?
funky buildings.
Il a adapté son mode de vie à son côté écolo ou pas du tout?
What's your first memory child with music?
My favorite memory as a child with music?
Yeah.
Well, that would be just my favorite memory as a child with music was just whenever my parents would be playing, you know, Elvis and the Beatles. When I was, you know, like 4 or 5 years old, and there was a part in the Jailhouse Rock that said, "If you can't find a partner, use a wooden chair." And I had a little like wooden rocking chair about this big, you know, because I was 5, and I picked it up and I threw it across the room. My brother and I were like dancing, like we were moshing around or something. And then my dad, you know, he played an acoustic guitar, and he and I would sing Beatles songs together and these old country songs and things. And, but also, the other thing is I remember Thriller was new, like Michael Jackson's Thriller, so my friends and I also would meet up and like jump on the bed to Thriller. And I liked like things like the Ghostbusters theme song and like movie soundtracks like Star Wars and Rocky and stuff, and we would have them on like little vinyl records. We'd play them on little Fisher Price record players. Like, that's enough.
What comes first? Playing the guitar or singing? Or was both at the same time?
For me?
Yeah.
I sang when I was a kid before I played guitar.
Which bands do you like the most when you were a teenager? Can you say some of this?
When I was a teenager?
Yeah, talk about these things.
It was definitely, when I was an early teenager, it was definitely Nirvana, because when I saw the first time I saw them play live on TV is when I started learning how to play guitar. So all of the bands that they were with and that they were into were the bands I listened to, and we started a band, and that was the kind of stuff we played, you know, like Sonic Youth, and we played Mudhoney, and all that kind of stuff, you know. So, as a teenager, whenever it was like later and they were gone, and everyone was, you know, all the record labels were trying to like copy that stuff, and it was getting washed out. I felt like I went back to older music, and I started really getting into just the stuff in the 60s back then, you know, like I was into the Beatles when I was a kid, and then I didn't listen to them for a long time, and I didn't even know if I liked them that much, but then I went, like when I was, you know, like 16, I really got into that stuff, you know, like I got really into the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, you know, playing guitar like him a bit, that style, and Dylan. some others. Yeah.
Are you the only one in your family involved in music? Like kind of doing that kind of stuff every time, like professional?
Anyone in my family?
Like, yeah.
involved in music professionally?
Are you the first one, or there was someone else that
Well,
gets
you
you
know-
inspiration for that?
I don't know. No one really in my family that I knew. I mean, my dad played guitar and showed me the first few chords and things, but I don't know of him ever really performing or anything. I think he maybe did once, you know, when he was young. But I heard that there was a side of the family on my dad's side. They were the Carlisle side of the family. It was my dad's mom's side of the family. They, back in the day, somewhere in Missouri, had a band, I think, that played, and I don't know how much they played or how far, you know, they went around, but they had some sort of band that they played, and I heard that they were all like real musical, but I never met any of them really. Yeah. And it was like a long time ago. So.
Could you tell me what is your favorite vinilo or music disco at all the times?
My favorite vinyl?
Vinyl, disco, cassette,
My favorite
any kind of
album
record.
of all time?
Yeah.
No, I don't have.
You have one?
I don't have
in
one.
case?
No, I don't have one because I have several favorite ones. You know, so colors really. I mean, because I like.
You don't have what?
I don't have a favorite color. Like that's something I had. You know, when I was like a little kid, people were like, "What's your favorite color?" I'd say it's blue. You know, but like it's not blue anymore. It's like I like all. I
You've
like
been changing.
I like the way colors look together. I have a lot of different favorite albums. You know.
When do you get that feeling that you say, okay, maybe I can get like professional experience with this thing, like with music, artistic style?
When did I feel like I
Like
I
you want to
wanted
do
to do
it?
it professional style?
Yeah.
I think the
How was the process?
okay, so when I remember being like 5 years old and being like I wanted to be a singer actually, because I would perform for my family when I was about 5. And
5 years old?
Yeah, there'd be like this big family event, like you know, big
Like
family-
getting together?
big family get-togethers, people from out of town, and I would. I heard that I would set out a little like tip jar in front of me, and like people would throw me like pennies and stuff, and I would use a plastic or maybe a real baseball bat. I don't know. I would pretend like it was a mic stand, and I had like a plastic guitar, and I would like do a show for the family. But and so I was like just 4 or 5. But I wanted to be other stuff when I was a kid too. I wanted to be an archaeologist also when I was a kid.
Archaeologist?
And whatever else I don't even remember. I wanted
Why?
To be, probably because of Indiana Jones. You've seen Indiana Jones? Right?
I've seen it.
Okay. Somebody told me recently.
How many movies is?
I don't know, like 4 or 5 now. Somebody told me recently they'd never seen Indiana Jones, and I was like, what the hell is wrong with this?
I've seen it many. Not many, but
Somebody told me they hadn't seen it.
who?
I don't know. Somebody maybe in Portland. I don't remember who it was. But but then I kind of dropped that for a while, and then I kind of got into it again. Or maybe I never did drop it. I also wanted to be a cartoonist when I was a kid.
You want to be a cartoon?
A cartoonist.
A cartoonist.
I also wanted to be a cartoonist. I watched cartoons, and I was like, I just want to be a cartoon. I would try
Yeah,
to,
but then you're drawing.
I would try to I would draw them, yeah. But
So you're doing a lot of stuff.
I would try to
Tell more about your.
I would try to turn into a cartoon character at night. Sometimes when it turned midnight, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna try and turn into a cartoon character. I'm not even kidding. Like, I didn't really think I was turning into a cartoon character, but I wanted to like be a cartoon character. Certainly. But I mean that sounds fun. So. Maybe I never did drop that, but I wanted to still do that. But I never really thought about doing it with like playing the guitar though until I was about 12, and that's whenever I was like, because in those days it was all these like singers that were just like they weren't like playing any guitar or any instrument, like, and they were real like outrageous, and I felt weird being something like that. But that's when I saw Nirvana when I was like 12 years old. And so I was like, oh, he's actually like singing and playing the guitar at the same time. And he hadn't really seen that since before I was born, you know, like way back in the 60s or something, you know, when you saw people doing that. I was like, oh, you can sing and play guitar at the same time. And they had a band going, and then I started a band like right then, pretty much. And we just started playing, and we got like a gig. We're getting paid to do this gig. It was like a Girl Scouts fundraiser for them to go to Europe or something when we were like 15, and we got paid for it.
To go to Europe?
Yeah, the drummer's sister was in the Girl Scouts, and somehow, and her mom, and their mom was real like musical. You know, they had like, we practiced at their house all the time. They had all these instruments everywhere. We had the greatest place in the world to practice with like these big panoramic windows where you could see all around. And there's a game room too with like, you know, pool table, ping pong table and stuff. But so we played there every night, and they through their mom, they invited us to play at this place called Grand Central Station, which was this like dance club for teenagers in this small town, you know. It was one of the only places to go. So we had this gig that was paying us when we were 15. But when we were playing all these songs, and like there were all these mosh pits that would happen, you know, which at mosh pits, you know, were like people like jumping in and like slam dancing, like getting into each other, and like the cops like tried to break it up, and they're like, hey, you gotta stop playing, you know, so you gotta stop playing this kind of music or something. We go, this is the kind of music we play. We played it again. There were like girls jumping into the mosh pit and like getting slammed around, and like they shut us down. They were like, we got stopped by the cops the first time we played because I guess they were scared of like kids getting hurt or something.
By the cops?
Well,
what did they say to you?
They gave us an ultimatum. They said you can either like play softer, like play like music that's not gonna get the kids all like rowdy, you know, or you can stop right now, and you can only get paid for part of the night. So what happened? We stopped right then and only got paid for part of the night. But like when I was playing the song, like there was a cop like came up to my leg when I was like singing the last song, and he was like tugging on my on my like pants, and I was like, and so I finished the song, and then I remember like it was a commotion. Like a lot of times we played places when we were young, like some kind of weird chaos would happen.
Chaos.
It seemed that way, yeah.
So, would you be able to rank the top 3 favorite songs that you ever created?
Top 3 favorite songs that I ever created? Not really, but I mean, there's 3 of some of the favorite ones I've made. There's just one that's just an instrumental song called "The Movement of Lights." It's a piano song mostly, and then maybe the other ones I never thought about it really that much. I never picked them, you know, so I don't know.
You've been in many places singing and playing. What's your favorite city to play in? Or country?
A country?
Or best experience you have on the stage?
Best experience I had on the stage was...
Or best place to play in?
The best place to play?
If you have one.
I don't really have one.
What's the strange thing that you've seen someone do at one of your shows?
A strange thing I've seen someone do at one of my shows. Someone, you know, like fell off their stool and an ambulance had to come get them one time.
Check it out, Sant'Aniel. It's volcanic water.
Volcano. Yeah.
Explodes in your mouth. Only 15 cents.
How do you feel today?
I feel like I'm enjoying Schweppes. It's had the same sparkling flavor since 1783.
Okay, let's start with some more questions.
Okay.
Last time we were talking about music, about your childhood memories in music, and what was the first album or kind of serious record you did,
That I did.
and how was the process? Tell us about it.
My friend had he was older than us, you know, because he was actually started off as my guitar teacher, and then we knew he had a studio out in the Osage County, and it was out in the country, and like we just went and recorded with him. And he had his own like studio name. It was like, at first it was called Blue Zoo, I think, and then he changed it to Shanghai Studios. And so he opened a music store in town, and you know, he had the studio. So we started recording there, and when we were in high school, we recorded a demo.
Yeah.
And it had like 4 cover songs on it, and then like one.
Did you write the songs?
There was one original song on it. There was just 5 songs, and it was just recorded live. But we used that to get a bunch of like gigs around the area, and then right after that we started like doing an actual recording, which was kind of like, it was like a 7-song album, and like we were doing that when we were about like I think we begun it maybe like our last year at high school, and like finished it like, I don't know when we finished. It was like the year after high school or summer after high school or something, and it was like a 7-song album. And they were all original songs.
Original songs.
Yeah, and so we printed some of them on our own like pretend record label. You know, we just like made them by hand, and I don't know how many we made, and we just like gave them out to friends, and like sold some. But like, what happened? There were several people that wanted to buy it one day, and so my friend and I got in my car and we drove around town, and we sold several albums. We're like, oh cool, look.
Like throw into the house like the newspaper.
Like what?
How do you did it? How do you sell that records?
I don't know, we drove around.
To travel around?
Just drove around the town, and we sold them to some people who wanted some. So
Like in the street or in some places that you were...
So just people that we knew that like said that they wanted one. So we went around and sold it, like the first ones that we printed, which wasn't very many, but say we sold like 8 or so an afternoon. Maybe we had like $80. We're like, oh cool, we're doing all right, you know. And then we get pulled over in the car, and we each got like a seatbelt ticket for like the same amount of what we had just like sold the albums for. We weren't wearing a seatbelt, you know. So we each had like maybe like a $40 ticket, and like all the money we made that day we had to pay for it fine, so we weren't wearing a seatbelt. So the point is, wear your seatbelt.
Wear your seatbelt. Hey, hi dude.
Hey. Good.
How you been?
Good.
You been good?
Yeah, great.
Okay,
actually.
great. Okay.
Near perfect.
Near perfect?
Well, maybe I'm pretty imperfect.
Okay.
But just in a good mood, you know.
I'm just wondering if you have chosen another career, which one would have been in case?
I mean, I hardly even feel like what I do is a career. But
Well,
it
yeah.
is, I guess. What would I do?
Wait, no, it's closed.
Maybe just a professor.
Professor.
Yeah, maybe.
Teaching. You say the other day that you hate teaching. Well, not
Well-
hate, but you don't like that much.
Yeah, but I don't like
So
I don't like any
you
job,
have to education.
Maybe like anthropology.
That's very you.
Anthropologist.
Anthropologist. Oh,
cool.
curious.
Yeah.
Nice. What is your first memory in life?
My first memory.
Yeah.
Let's see. First memory. I can't be sure which was the very first
Watch
memory.
out the bike.
But I remember when I was a kid, my parents would put me to sleep, you know, and like it would be really early because I'd be like, you know, like this tall, or something,
Yeah.
like this tall, and I didn't want to go to sleep. It would be like only like 8 o'clock at night, so I would sneak out of bed and I would get behind the couch and just
Yeah.
I would lay behind the couch where my parents were sitting and like watch TV with them. And then one time I saw a person on TV, because I only knew like cartoons and little kid stories, and I saw a person on TV get their head cut off, and there's like their head was just laying there, and I got freaked out and I went and hid underneath the table. But
That's your first memory?
that was no, I don't think that was my first memory, because I remember yeah, I was in a crib. I remember having a nightmare and waking up and just like yelling, and my dad came and got me. And then I have other like really early memories. I remember not being able to sleep as a kid and like just running and going to find people that were still awake.
Do you have any kind of hidden talents?
Hidden talents?
Hidden talents?
Yes. But they're hidden.
What?
I have hidden talents,
Like
but
what?
they're hidden. I can't tell anyone about them.
No, you can tell. I'm asking.
No,
I want to know.
You can turn the camera off and I'll tell you.
Okay. What have you been doing right now? What is your last work coming up? You've been writing, right? Like
I was working-
writing something.
I was working on that hot pot, man. It took like 3 hours pretty much. It was good. And now I'm just, you know, I'm having a what is this, a digestif? Like a coffee?
Digestivo.
Cappuccino? Yeah, yeah.
Un cappuccino
That's what I was
digestivo.
working on. It was good. Sichuan hot pot. I was just put together this like compilation vinyl album of friends bands. You know, it's like about 10 or there's 11 songs on it, and it's like it's a cool record actually. So it's gonna be printed up. You know, it's just gonna be a limited or just a pressing of about 500.
500
There'll be
vinilos.
yeah, 500 vinilos, vinyls, and well, it's been taking a long time. You know, I thought they were going to come out earlier this year, and it's just kind of defined my year. I've been waiting on them, and it's going to come out in December. It'll be the first vinyl of this thing called Willie Cry Records, and it'll be a 12-inch vinyl. It's called Out the Cellar and Over the Plains, and if anyone has a record player, Coco Discos, we'll try to leave a link on this for it's coming out. It should be out, I'm thinking probably the first week of December now. Probably another month. It might come early though, it might be here in November.
November.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing. We listened to the test recordings here in Barcelona at Curtis Audio.
Do you have any
Bio
problem in
Cafe.
Barcelona to test the record?
Did I have any problem playing?
I mean, if you have it. I think you have one or two
Yeah.
at least.
Well, some people acted weird. I mean,
Why weird? No, people is not.
well, this one guy said it was the weirdest thing that ever happened to
What
him.
happened?
Like, yeah, right. Just asking him if we could try, play the record player in the store to check out one of the test pressings.
Like,
He let us play it for a while, but he was like, "This is so weird," and he was sitting there sweating because he was hungover, and I think he was like really stoned and probably paranoid or something. Like, Who knows? You know, I guess the thing about here is like people think you're gonna, if you come up like a stranger and start talking to them, they think you might be like a thief or something, like you're distracting them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what it is, something like that. People are paranoid here, but I went to the other.
You think people is paranoid in that, maybe in this area of Barcelona?
Yeah, this area, yeah. Carteristas, pickpockets. There's not very many violent crimes that happen around here, but they're like, this place is like the pickpocket capital of the world right now, so I hear.
Could you tell more about your story with carteristas in Barcelona?
I haven't had that much problems, but there was this kid that came up and just tried to like, just like face to face, he tried to reach in my pocket real quick, and I shoot him off, and he took off running, and so I got a different little pouch to carry some stuff in, so if anything did get lost or stolen, you know, then nobody's getting rid of it.
You know what I say? Barcelona is the capital for carteristas in Europe.
See, that's what I said. Pickpockets. Yeah, no, like in the world right now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
According to Google, if you want to believe what Google says. How does Google know everything?
Google it.
But yeah, anyway, the guy at Daily Records was a lot. He was real cool. He's like, yeah, just play the record, and it's no worries. Listen to it.
No worries
And
coming.
then Curtis Audiophile Cafe. I found that place, and
It's
that's a
on your
cool-
list to check it again, right?
Yeah, I want to go back there.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, because I think I want to go back there so you can hear the record. Because they just have a record player you can listen to. And,
How many records you have to test before to...
I had 9 that I brought
9
with me
records.
because they showed up the day before I came here, so I had to fly with them, which I wasn't ever planning on doing.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, they were pretty easy to carry. They fit perfectly.
How
in
many
this little
songs
bag
has
I had.
one vinilo?
Oh, I said I think 11.
11 songs.
Yeah. About
What's your favorite
11
song?
Different bands. Oh, I'm not gonna say it.
You hadn't say.
I like all of them really.
From different bands, you said?
Yeah, different bands. I'm on there too, on one. I'm actually on 2. We're something, you know. Actually, so it's some of the songs are old songs, and some of them are new. And anyway, there was about 2.5 minutes left on the album. There's 2.5 minutes of space left when I put it together, so pretty much just wrote a song for the record that's just only going to be available on this vinyl record.
Nice.
So that'll be the last song on the album. So I just wanted to fill it all up. Yeah. So. Oh wow. Somebody fell down outside. Just kidding.
Little you?
Yep. Eyes filling